The Southeast has developed in the past 20 years more so than ever in its history, and a lot of that development, new home construction, new school construction, new office building construction, new government building construction, new roads, all that work has been supplied for the most part by immigrant labor.
It's almost like there's the two leagues. There's the Latin League, and there's everybody else.
Soccer is really important for Latinos because they're very passionate about the sport. It's their primary sport in their native countries, and it reminds them of home.
Yo cuando estaba chiquito jugaba en las calles. A veces no teníamos ni balón para jugar y jugábamos con cualquier cosa. Y ya cuando llegué aquí a Estados Unidos empezamos a jugar ya en equipo.
You can always find a wide empty space around the corner in the neighborhood, and it doesn't matter if you know how to play soccer or not. You just get into we call it potrero, which means raw land. So without goals, without supervision, nothing at all. Just a bunch of kids from the neighborhood, one soccer ball, and figure it out.
Yo llegué en el año 2000 y trabajé durante todo este tiempo en 2 trabajos y hace 2 años que encontré la liga esta y empezamos a jugar yo y mis amigos.
They'll probably have 50 people show up to watch their soccer games. And on our field, if the weather's nice, we may have 5 or 6. If it's cold or rainy or something, there won't be anybody at the game, just the players. And even then, we might have a few players not come because they don't want to play in the rain.
Well, about a year ago, we started a strategic planning process, and out of the process, we realized that one of the key areas that we want to work in is development and promotion and growth of the game. And one of the biggest areas of growth certainly is reaching out to the Latino community. There are obviously in the community a number of undocumented people, and a lot of them are uncomfortable with registration requirements that we have, providing their name, address, phone number, date of birth, and it's actually very understandable. And in some cases, it has led to some of the leagues that had joined us deciding to not stay with us.
I don't necessarily believe that that is the full story, because the onus then is placed upon the Hispanic player to somehow provide legitimacy, with that type of argument.
There's some kind of racial and political tensions that maybe drive the Hispanic community to want to separate themselves. I think because of the undocumented issues, because of the language barriers, because many of our immigrants are first generation and live in communities where they don't ever have to speak another language. They don't have to associate with people outside of their community. And so I think it becomes this kind of refuge.
The field is really the third space in a community, and by that I mean that's the place that you go to that you call your own.
People come, like neighbors, family, cousins, everybody comes out and they'll talk like as if it's a family reunion or something, not like a game. And they all come, and after they might go out together, hang out, and if they win, they all celebrate.
It's an event, it's families, it's food stands, it's flags and little kids running around, and so I think it's kind of a touchstone for the community.
Yo me gusta mucho el fútbol, no sé, siempre eso lo traje en mí, siempre, más el fútbol que cualquier otro deporte. O sea, siempre, yo en mi casa, en donde quiera que yo encontraba que es algo que podía patear, pum, la agarraba y lo pateaba. Y siempre me gustó eso. Yo he visto las ligas americanas, pero nunca he jugado con ellos. Solamente, sé que juegan, pero no veo que haya como tanta pasión, porque incluso en los juegos profesionales de la MLS nunca veo gente que se llene los estadios. Al contrario, a nosotros cuando jugamos en equipos acá pequeños, el campo está lleno de gente.
I was moving to a new city where I didn't really know anybody. And so to meet people, I wanted to play soccer and also just enjoy it. So that's what made me sign up for the league. And so now I've been down here 5.5 years, and three of the best friends I've had in Atlanta, definitely I met through soccer. We've had everybody over to the house. This was the first time I actually got a keg, so we had a lot of beer, and it was a good time.
We played in the Cab League, which is a pretty local league, and it was mostly, mostly I'd say North American kind of based teams, but they had their own teams within the league, and just games were always a little different with them. They tended to be a little more aggressive, a little more, in some ways, hostile, and just more fights would break out, things like that.
Hay más técnica, más, yo creo que más conjunto. En cambio el americano como que es más golpe, más juego aéreo.
Una vez tuvimos una pelea cuando estábamos jugando fútbol y bueno, se enojaron porque ellos nos iban ganando y luego nosotros les empatamos y les íbamos ganando. Entonces un hombre más grande que yo llegó y pues no sé, empezó a hacer de problemas con nosotros y pues me mentó el 10 de mayo y ya que agarro, ¡pum!, que le pego y ya ahí mi esposa se metió y pues ahí ya se hizo la pelea entre todos.
It is the release valve for the pressures that many of the workers, the men, feel. They work hard. Sometimes they're working 2 jobs. Most of them are working 6 days a week at least in very, very difficult jobs, either outdoors or very risky jobs, dangerous jobs. And they need time to let off steam and to express themselves.
They go through their whole lives not coached, and the output of that is that you have these brilliant individual players without really a sense of, kind of the tactics and the discipline of the game.
Y los americanos, yo pienso que ellos practican más que los hispanos y yo creo que puede haber más fútbol entre los americanos que los hispanos.
Latino más que todo le gusta ganar. Si no gana, se molesta.
Yeah, the one big difference between the Spanish or Hispanic soccer is they speak Spanish.
Y la otra también de que mucho latino juega por dinero.
So you want to win for the pride, but also you want to win to get the money.
Bueno, hay jugadores que pueden venir a ganar desde 50, 100 hasta $500 por un partido, dependiendo de la importancia del partido. Si es una final, es semifinal o un partido normal.
For Latino leagues, what we're talking about is social leagues that are created in the community where people will create a team, sign up, and then pay the day that they actually play to a referee. Everyone chips in $5 or $10. The referee gets his fee and the game is on.
Y el árbitro le da el dinero al que está encargado de la liga y él va guardando el dinero y la final. Al que gana la final le da los $1,000 y el que queda en segundo lugar le da unas camisas o algo. Y empieza otra vez la liga.
So oftentimes the club teams are a lot of money in these Hispanic leagues. Sometimes they'll even pay the kids, $100 to play a couple games.
We operate essentially as a nonprofit sport in Georgia, whereas in the Latino community, many of the leagues are in fact a for-profit. So in many cases, some of the leagues see us as being competitors because of the fees that we charge.
It's a system of pay to play, and that's its main failing. and it impacts the development of the game here in the U.S.
You do have to pay every year $300 to the league for your league fees. You pay $85 per game for referees, and that's per team, so it's $170 total goes to referees per game. We pay for the home field, which depends on which field you have, but it usually ranges between $100 and $250 a game for home fields, and that's for half the season. And then you pay $45 a player to register. And then if you have to buy jerseys and stuff, it could easily cost close to, I think on average we pay about $2,300 a year, and it could cost as much as $3,000.
Si las ligas mexicanas y las americanas jugaran juntos, quizá sí habría como mucho público, quizá les empezaría a gustar más, o sea, estaría mejor porque quizá habría más gente. Sería bonito, pero no sé si eso pueda ser posible.
In our league, we do have ethnic teams. We have a Bosnian team. We have a Iranian team. We have, a lot of times there's African teams that play in it, but there's never any Hispanic teams. And I just assume they have a league, you know, a large enough immigrant population where they can have their own leagues where these other groups don't. You know, but I think it would be beneficial to have everybody play. I mean, if the level of soccer, the play was better, and, you know, you can definitely do a lot more.
When they do blend, they blend well. The barriers aren't there that maybe both sides think are there. Breaking down those barriers, I think, starts with personal contact. And that goes both ways.
I know as experienced father, now grandfather, 3 children that I had played soccer all through high school. I got 5 grandchildren, they all play soccer. I think if the kids can learn that to play against each other and leave the parents out of it, I think the kids could bridge that gap.
Bueno, nosotros estamos planeando tener un niño pronto, quizá en el año que entra, este año, el año que entra, cuando Dios decida mandárnoslo.
I don't picture myself being one of these crazy fanatical soccer dads. I really hope I don't turn out that way, just because it's just not worth it. And I don't know, you know, I don't want to turn my kids off from playing soccer or playing sports at all, and I see myself as more of a calm, laid back. I may coach them, but I don't think I'll be crazy about it.
Yo pudiera inducir a mis hijos que jugaran, yo los induciría a que jugaran en una liga profesional. Si yo pudiera, quizás si los mando a México en una escuela y si puedo pagarles para que ellos sean profesionales.
I remember once I went to a foreign country and I grabbed a soccer ball and I started juggling, right? I didn't speak their language, I was on vacation. And that's it. 2-3 guys start approaching to me, they didn't say anything, they didn't speak to me. But I understood that what they wanted to do is sharing the soccer ball with juggling. I was doing 2-3 touches, 2-3 touches, 2-3 touches. I was telling my wife, look at this. Did you see what just happened? I was just juggling with the soccer ball. And I just made 3 or 4 friends.